Hey everyone, it's Brett Hornby here, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Got my Calgary Stampeders gear on for this video, as we'll talk about a little off-season news with the Calgary Stampeders, mostly surrounded by around a quarterback in Bo, as in Bo Levi Mitchell. As we know, he is still under contract going into the 2022 CFL season, as he signed that 4-year deal back in 2019, and let's just say in a couple of years, a lot of things have changed, mostly negatively, economically for most people. But one of the storylines that coming into this season, after the 2021 season, was the future of Bo in Calgary, as we're talking about that he actually finally, not want to say finally, but there was some uncertainty about his contract status, that the Calgary Stampeders and Bo have agreed to restructure his final year of his deal. I understand when he signed that 4-year deal back in 2019, it made him one of the highest paid players in the Canadian Football League, where I think his yearly salary was north of $700,000. And keep in mind, at the time when he was a free agent, the Toronto Argonauts and the Saskatchewan Roughriders were also after him as well, and apparently offered a little more. And Bo left some money on the table to ultimately decide to stay in Calgary for his legacy. And then, let's just say things didn't exactly turn out as planned in terms of, let's say in 2019, we did not successfully win the Grey Cup at home, and 2020 didn't happen for, obvious reason. And last season he did have a rough season, and then the fact that we had Jake Maier, who had emerged as a viable option for backup, but ultimately Bo has agreed to restructure his contract. I know that part of the deal, that his base salary, I think of the $700,000 before restructuring it, I think brings it down to $525,000 for this last season of his deal. I know he had 2 roster bonuses due for $100,000. I think it was January 15th and March 15th. So that would have been part of his salary for this year. I know that this restructuring brings the Calgary Stampeders some salary cap relief, because as of this recording, I will make a Free Agent Frenzy video next month. It's Tuesday, February 8th, when CFL Free Agents Frenzy begins. So shortly after that, probably on the weekend, I'll make a video on what the Calgary Stampeders have done, as well as the rest of the league. Considering that this season, most of the league are free agents, there could be some big names going around, but generally with the Calgary Stampeders and John Huffnagel, is that usually he likes to get a lot of his internal business done ahead of Free Agent Frenzy, that we're not necessarily going to be big players in the free agent market this year. And I personally don't think we need to, because as it's recording, after the season, when it was wrapped up, the Calgary Stampeders were able to sign Tre Roberson to a 2-year deal, which brings him in. That's what we got back from the Chicago Bears in the National Football League. Well, the other big signs that the Calgary Stampeders made was they actually did get Reggie Begelton re-signed and Jake Maier. And I think that's one of the reasons that Bo also has agreed to restructure his deal, seeing that it could help the team potentially keep some of our free agent veterans, like Roberson and Begelton, and have Jake Maier, which he was thinking that Jake Maier was possibly thinking that maybe he was going to test free agency and maybe be a starter, but at the same time, remember, he's only played an equivalent of like 3.5 games in his CFL career, and who knows what could happen after this season with Bo. Maybe he's thinking that either this upcoming season could be his last, depending on how it goes, or given that he'll only be 32 this year, could he still have a few more years left in the tank, play just as long as Anthony Calvillo or Damon Allen, that he could either still continue on playing with the Stampeders, or maybe cash in somewhere else. I can't see Bo playing anywhere else, but it's still definitely good on him to restructure his contract. He's still the biggest free agent frenzy sign that the Calgary Stampeders I still think need to make is hopefully they can get Kadeem Carey signed for the running back, and I think we're pretty much set. I know that another quarterback that Calgary signed in the offseason is Tommy Stevens. We signed him from a college. That I'll look more in depth on the signings once we get into the free agent frenzy video next month, but most of this video was talking about our quarterback, Bo Levi Mitchell, that there was some questions about possibly if he was still going to be here in Calgary next season, despite having one more year left. But unlike the National Hockey League, football contracts aren't guaranteed. You can sign a 100-year contract for $1 billion and then be cut next week. That's why, especially football, bonuses and guaranteed money definitely is what they fight for, so they at least know they have that much money. Regardless, things happen, especially, if the performance team situation changes or a rookie comes in or good God, if you misbehave on the field, off the field. I mean, that's just the nature of the beast, but it's definitely encouraging to know that Bo did agree to restructure his deal. Hopefully, he'll bounce back next season. I think he will, just because of the fact that he took some money off on his contract, and the fact it's a contract year for him, that he might be motivated to still get one more deal for his career. But he's definitely built up a legacy over a decade for being the face of the franchise, considering it was 10 years ago that he was just signed on, and I saw that name looks cool for a Calgary quarterback. And I think I remember the time in camp that Jawan Simpson, who was one of the leaders on the defensive lineman, said that he was one of the biggest stubborn SLBs he ever met, and definitely had someone special. And basically he came in after when we decided to move on from Henry Burris, and I say, speaking, if we were to move on from Bo, if we didn't sign those bonuses, that he would have became a free agent, and there's no way I think Calgary was going to do that. That if we were to make a trade, it would have to have been similar to when we traded Henry Burris ultimately to Hamilton, where we needed to get a proven quarterback in return just because of the shelter Jake Maier. But I don't think we'll need to worry about that. But it's just, a quick off-season video. I'll just say, what do you think of the Bo deciding to restructure his contracts? Definitely being commanded for, thinking of a team. And that's the thing you have to think about in the salary cap world is, do you try to cash in as much as you can, but maybe it comes at success where maybe so much of your cap is paid on you that they can't build a team around it. You definitely see many examples of that in the NHL where some star players, they still make pretty good money, and still Bo will have some pretty good money, assuming he's smart with it and raising a family and all that. But I'm going to say this has been a part of why Calgary was able to, keep Jake Maier, bring back Reggie Begelton and Tre Roberson, and hopefully Kadeem Carey, and who knows how free agent frenzy plays out. So that's all I have for this video. I'll just say we're still going to be pretty light on Calgary Stampeders and CFL content right now that it's in the off season, but I felt this was big enough to finally make a video on, as we're talking about Bo, and it's definitely the face of the franchise, and we definitely had a big decision to make with him after how things played out in 2021, both in terms of how Jake Maier looked in relief, and Bo, I think he still has a couple of things to work on, because he definitely didn't look quite himself. He didn't look like this MLP form, and he threw a few more interceptions. And actually, I remember hearing, the end of the season interviews that maybe you have to say this is the price you pay to be a quarterback, especially in a quarterback for a franchise, and being the star quarterback, a stud quarterback, especially in Calgary when we've been spoiled with Doug Flutie and Henry Burris and Jeff Garcia, and even before my time, Pete List and Jerry Keeling, that apparently he said it was the first time he heard even boos to him at McMahon, and said it kind of got to him. But Bo has been so great and has the greatest winning percentage of all time that this was like to the first season that, you know, he really did play rough. At times at home where some bluebirds came out, but I'm still ultimately happy you're still here in Calgary, Bo, if you're watching this. But just remember history that you're stacked with, and I still always going to say personally, Doug Flutie is always the best quarterback to ever play for the Calgary Stampeders. Some of it's got to be nostalgia as well, but I would put Bo second, and hopefully he still has more legacy to write, and it's definitely a step in that direction that maybe we still have a few more years after this year. Depends how 2022 plays out. So anyways, I'd like to say, if you want to follow along with this Calgary sports fans journey, home of the Flames, Sabin, Roughnecks, and Stampeders, I mostly do talk Calgary sports on my YouTube channel where I recap games and stories, and right now in the off season, when it comes to the Calgary Stampeders in the Canadian Football League, it's all going to be just stories, and I don't anticipate making many more CFL videos until the free agent frenzy next month. You know, what the Calgary Stampeders did, who they were able to keep, who's moving on, and we'll take a look at the rest of the league while I'm in that video. So expect that next month. It's Tuesday, February 8th when the free agent frenzy begins. So probably, I'm going to assume that weekend I'll probably make that video. But I also do a variety of non-sports content when I have time, which those are the key words, when I've had time and the energy, as personal vlogs, attempt to comedy, and also do share experience some on the road or a sport event. And I've done some vlogging to go, which I did get a little break from that. However, Schnook Blast, and actually while I'm talking about Schnook Blast right now, they delayed the start of Schnook Blast until February, but basically every weekend in February, Schnook Blast will happen in Calgary, so I do plan to make some video content with that and do some more vlogging on the go. So expect that also in February with the CFL Free Agent Frenzy video. So to wrap it all up, if that all sounds like it'd be interesting to watch, to follow along with this Calgary sports fans journey, you know what you need to do, just make sure you hit like, subscribe. I also have my other social links down in the description below for other ways to follow me. And of course, I'm waiting until I can get 100 subscribers on my second channel, Brett Harmony Shorts, so I have that custom URL. But I also appreciate the like and subscribe on my second channel at Brett Hornby Shorts, where I exclusively put my short form content on there with the YouTube Shorts, and might even repurpose some TikToks on there. So of course I'd like appreciate you subscribe both here on my main channel as well as my second channel. So I'll say go Stamps go. It's great to know that we're very likely still going to have Bo next season with him restructuring his contract. So I just want to say thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.